Your favorite couples here so easily accessible. Grab your headphones, hit play, turn up the decibel. Master of the pod like a young Skywalker. Shout out to homie Yoda, cause great all we talkers. The crew is firm, so it's love to AZ. You signed the template. Scourse your competition simply. Sure to get you high like some true West Coasters. Look at the flick of the wrist, one guardian Leviosa. LA is always sunny, Comic-Con with honeys. Pokemon and Dunny, sneaker hype, be sticking money. Erase your rows of eyes and see Lee made it funny. Time flies and now my flux capacitor is running. You not rocking with us, you like a muggle wizard, see. Just stupefy yourself with the wave of wizardry. Like Mario standing still in the left's a moving screen. A world full of nerds, but only two nerdly. The dopest show you ever heard, you see. It will be. In your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly. The dopest show you ever heard, you see. It will be. In your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly.
Hello and welcome to the Nerdlies. I'm Chris. Hi everybody. Hopefully you guys are safe, healthy, at home, not protesting like weirdos.
Right.
Sorry, I have to bring that up right at the beginning, but it's on the top of my head right now.
Yeah, people are really dumb.
It's a little rough out there. I know, people get I get a little stir crazy. I want to be outside, but you gotta be safe. You gotta think about these things a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And there are experts that are saying that this is dangerous, very, very dangerous.
Yep.
So yeah, be smart and not do that. Yeah. But anyway, how's everything been? It's been a couple weeks here. It's just there's like not too much to report on, so it makes it hard to hop on and do the show.
Everything's kind of come to a halt in terms of, well,
there's
not
news.
all media. Like there's actually quite a bit on like Disney Plus and other things that have come out, which has been great.
Mostly TV shows. Yes.
But yeah, unfortunately, movies and the like have been put on hold for the time being.
Yeah. But I did want to kind of talk about, we'll get into some Clone Wars stuff later. I think that'll be the last thing we talk about. But I did want to say, we've been trying to make progress, and Rachel's been trying to make progress on her costume for Xi'an from The Mandalorian. And we just watched it's May the 4th today. So May the 4th be with you, all you guys. And we got to watch The Mandalorian basically behind the scenes feature that happened today. And as a little bit of a bonus, in that show, they talked about the episode that Xi'an was in and actually showed some more detail. And you were very surprised to learn 2 extra details on her costume.
Yeah, it's crazy because, I once I realized I wanted to cosplay this character, I looked up as much as I could, but really, I couldn't find a whole lot because she's not a huge character. She's literally in one episode of one show. So it wasn't like I had a lot to go on. But so I actually went back and watched it several more times, that episode, and took pictures on my phone of my TV of the back and the sides and the detailing of her costume, so I could try to make mine as accurate as possible. And one of the shots of behind the scenes that they show is kind of the side of her.
It's like a rear 3/4 turn almost.
Yeah. And lo and behold, she has almost like a tribal tattoo type design on her shirt. On her sleeve of her shirt. And I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
She's essentially wearing a space affliction shirt.
I guess, yeah. It's really weird. But I was kind of surprised by that a little bit.
Yeah.
So just because I was I've taken so many pictures of this costume, and how did I not see that? And then they showed the back of her costume, and it almost looked like quilted.
Yeah. It's bundled up.
Detailing on the back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't know how to do that, and I'm not doing it. But I definitely will, at least, even if it's not the exact same pattern. I don't know if I'm going to be that detailed with it, but I definitely want to find some sort of, tribal design and, print it out on, black iron-on paper and then just iron it on the costume.
I mean, I wonder if we could get like, I mean, there are deals now and stuff like that. So maybe at some point, like one of those Cricut machines come up as a deal, but we can grab one of those and just print out like the actual pattern or whatever you think it could be. Because it is a weird, like, just a tribal flame. Like, you never ever see it on the screen. It's barely visible. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't have to do it, but now that I know it's there, I kind of feel like I have to, just for my own sake. But yeah, it's crazy. I literally like, and it's just weird because like I swear I have these pictures of the shirt, and I'm like, you just don't. Yeah,
I don't see it in this picture at all.
At all, like. It's so weird to me. It's so weird. I don't get it.
These are the things that, like, you know.
Well, I have like a whole folder of like, but see, like, this is what I'm saying is like, you see this detailing on the pants. It's definitely there. But then when she's on the spaceship, I was looking at her pants and they almost look like they're either a different color or they're a different kind of pant because it doesn't have that detailing on it.
Yeah, it doesn't have
at
that,
all.
Yeah.
Because the other picture I took of her, like, like that detailing, it literally looks like it matches.
Yeah,
because I was like, I'm pretty sure that was on there. It's like she changed pants from the. I'm like, did she have an accident? What is happening here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, but then like I said, look at these pants. Like, unless the detailing is just hidden, there's no detailing on those pants.
Yeah,
and they look like they're yellow.
Yeah, they're a little bit more of a tan. Like,
yeah,
and like, the other ones are burgundy. For sure.
And like, but that's the thing is, I don't think I remember seeing this like holster either. I don't know. I'm like,
well, the holster looks like the same one on the other pants.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit less. The lighting is not as like
but
crushed.
I don't know. I'm so confused by this. Just that. Like, it's so weird. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just,
Does it make you excited to find another detail at all? Like, or does it?
I mean, it does, but at the same time, it's like frustrating because I'm like, I spent so long with the pictures I had, and now there's new pictures, and like, and I don't know, like, and I thought I remembered from the other pictures I had, I thought she had like, she has like different gloves too.
Oh.
It's so weird. Well, like, the first shots I have of her are, like, on the deck, and then she's on the ship, and then she's on the other ship. So, like, I don't know if, like...
There is a wardrobe change before they kind of leave or something? I don't know.
I honestly have no idea. But, yeah, it's
You
weird.
literally had to... We were in the middle. I think we were, like, a third of the way through the episode. And you literally screamed out loud about the detail.
Yeah.
And we had to pause the episode, rewind it like 4 times for you
I wanted to take pictures of it.
Everything.
Yeah. I was like, no. We're not. Yeah. We're addressing this right now because I don't know how to feel. Yeah. It's crazy. But
in any case, what did you think other than those extra details from the show? What did you think of that little documentary series?
I thought it was really cool. I'm hoping there will be more to it than that. But yeah, it was interesting to see that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I thought it was interesting to see how everyone kind of approaches the way they do stories and stuff. Obviously, seeing like Taika Waititi's already an interesting character, so it's fun to see him as a person, and then Bryce Dallas Howard getting to have her experiences and stuff like that. And all those guys, it was just a lot of fun to watch what the process was. And it was cool to see that since it was a collaborative effort, I didn't realize that all the directors were just there for all of the filming. So it wasn't like the director came, did their episode and left. They actually just sat there and helped with the other storytelling. Like, there's a lead director, but all these directors are pooling together their resources and knowledge to make this show, to make it cohesive, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes when you do have that, like, somebody pops in for one episode, you, like, clearly veer away from what they're doing. And I think one thing that Taika Waititi said during the episode was, you know, it was good to have Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau there because, you know, it helps him from veering way off course. So I thought that was interesting. And I think that, you know, that's something Marvel has done too. Like, you have that somebody like Feige and like other directors that just know how to push them back a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, it's great to have very visionary directors because that's when you get something special, but you still need to make a cohesive storyline, especially when you're doing this big universe thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. It's a cool little insight. And you can clearly tell that Dave Filoni is a big old nerd
Oh yeah.
about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, you were
the fact that he was like schooling Dave Favreau on like Star Wars
Jon
trivia,
Favreau, yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, he was a...
Bitch, goddamn.
And his story, the story about him, I didn't know this. I don't know if people, I mean, I don't pay as much attention to every director's bio, but the story he was telling about how he got the job with Clone Wars is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
you should, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's incredible that even happened
Yeah.
to him. And you should definitely watch the documentary or the behind the scenes thing to make to just learn that story about Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
And
It's worth it for sure.
he got to be a director on Star Wars. But yeah, speaking of Taika Waititi, this is a new development of entertainment news today that I kept seeing on a couple of articles that Taika Waititi has been tapped to direct a full Star Wars film.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So he is working with a female writer as well. So it's him and a female writer. I can't remember the writer's name. I apologize. Let me look that up so that I can give her proper due. But yeah, he has gotten tapped to be a Star Wars director. Let me double check the name. Looking it up. Director, writing, and co-writing. Writing with Christy Wilson Cairns, if I'm saying that right. Let's see what she also wrote. She received a BAFTA award for 1917. She wrote that movie, and also wrote Last Night in Soho. Apparently, don't know that other one, but I do know that. In addition, they said that a woman named Leslie Headland, who did Russian Doll on Netflix and a show called Bachelorette, is also developing a new untitled Star Wars series for Disney Plus. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so they have a lot of like just stuff in development, but who knows when that's gonna come out, especially now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm cautiously excited about it. I think I liked Waititi's episode of Mandalorian. I think that he did a great job with that. I am not a fan of Thor Ragnarok. Neither of us are. I do like his humor in like What We Do in the Shadows of the stuff I've seen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like cautiously excited. It's cool to have that fresh blood and have like a fun, like, you know, it seems like he has the right stuff at heart.
Yeah.
For the story. So we'll see how it goes. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I have faith because he directed, one of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian. So, yeah, I definitely have faith in him and him wanting to tell a good Star Wars story. So
yeah, and especially if he has good producers with him that hopefully not rein him in, but at least keep him within the realm of like what Star Wars feels like. Because he is good at humor. He's a funny guy. Yeah. But I still want I want that heart to the story. And like that's the thing I thought was missing out of Thor Ragnarok was like there was no heart to that, which Mandalorian had a ton of it.
Yeah.
And that's why like having those hands like Filoni and Chef Favreau or whatever, like that's really, really good to keep him just kind of within the realm of
which
development.
He said he was happy to have them.
Yeah.
To kind of rein him in a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he needed it. He needed it. But yeah, trying to remember what the next thing we want to talk about but I was kind of surprised about that because I just didn't know that they were going to start tapping directors already for anything right now. Yeah. But I mean, they needed something to announce on May the 4th.
Yeah.
So I think that's exactly what we were waiting for. We saw another great series called Prop Culture on Disney Plus. We're laughing because there was an edited take where I totally forgot what the name of the show was and we couldn't figure it out. But Really, really cool. Like, we are big fans of props in general. Like, we just love that stuff. I don't own any right now of like official props. I've always loved like looking at prop store.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I would love to, but it's
Yeah.
a very expensive game to get into.
we used to watch that Profiles in History show a lot and see different props getting sold and all that stuff. It was just jaw-dropping, the things that are out there and the things that aren't out there. But yeah, they did a really great series. It's a 8-episode run, and they did Mary Poppins, which was kind of emotional, Tron, Nightmare Before Christmas, Pirates of the Caribbean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Chronicles of Narnia, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the Muppet movie, the original Muppet movie. But yeah, like what did you...
I mean, Roger Rabbit and Muppet movie, I think we're both a little emotional too at
Oh,
times,
yeah.
but like, yeah, like it was really cool just getting to see them like reunite these things with people who like worked on the movie or their family worked on the movie.
Yeah.
Because like unfortunately, like they couldn't talk to Jim Henson because he's passed away, but they talked to his son, who I don't think I ever realized that he actually worked on the movie, and he was only 16, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like in the back seat of that car. I think that was like one of the most insane things. Like, because you don't really think about it. You're just like, oh yeah, they must have had it on a trailer or something, and you assume it's very sophisticated.
Yeah.
And then they showed that it was just literally almost like a go-kart like frame that they plopped this thing on, and then like he sat in the back and steered it, and they hollowed it out. And they actually just like laid down in the hollowed out thing of like this, what was it, Winnebago or Studebaker?
It was a Studebaker, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like, oh, it was insane. And then just them, like the pictures of them laying like, doesn't look like there was any padding or anything. They're just like laying on this like steel frame with their arm in the air, and I'm like, okay, first of all, like I've done a little bit of puppetry with Elmwood Studios, and
Shout out Elmwood Studios over
out to them.
in Bristol.
And like, holy crap, you don't think about holding your arm in one place for a long period of time would be strenuous, but
Yeah, like okay,
yeah,
so if you wanna do a test right now, hold your arm straight up like you're holding like you're raising your hand in class, but don't let it down until we stop talking about this prop story or prop culture show.
yeah.
So starting now, go ahead and see how long you last.
Feels. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was incredible to see, what things they stored and what things they didn't. And the sad thing was like, especially with Mary Poppins, the sad thing is that the culture of movie props just really wasn't a thing until later in the history of movies, way late in the history of movies.
Yeah.
Because things either get reused and repainted and like they just get recycled, or they're just trashed because they were used for that movie. Who would think to like, quote unquote, who would think to save any of that stuff, knowing that it would go into history? So
Yeah.
there are props that they mention in Mary Poppins that just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because nobody thought to save it.
Yeah, they literally like they were saying one of the most iconic things you would think about. I mean, one of them would be obviously like Mary Poppins' outfit and her carpet bag and like her umbrella were like big deals, but they were saying like, they didn't really think about it back then, and so her little talking umbrella, like her parrot umbrella, they like gave it away, or someone took it, or it just kind of fell into someone's hands, and no one ever really was able to track it back down again. So luckily they did keep the original sculpt of it that they used to
the
cast
mold.
it. Yeah, the mold. And so like they were able to recast it for the next movie, which is really, really cool and awesome. And also the same with the kind of iconic Feed the Birds
Snow Globe.
Yeah.
Which was one thing that you were like, when you saw it, you like had an emotional reaction because that's your favorite song.
It's my favorite song
of Mary Poppins.
I love Mary Poppins because that was like one I watched over and over and over and over and over again as a kid. But yeah, like, so just getting to see that like Snow Globe again, and like they got the guy, like one of the two guys that's still alive who actually did all the songs for. Yeah. I mean, they did songs for Disney.
The Sherman Brothers.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman is the one who's still alive.
Yeah, and they had him come in and he played part of that song and talked about how Walt, that was like one of Walt's favorite songs and of his that he had written, and had him play it on the piano for him like all the time. And I just thought that was really cool. And then the fact that he kept Mary's snow globe in his office too, which is like crazy. I was like, that's just amazing. Like, I know he obviously, if you've seen that the
Saving Mr. Banks?
Yes, Saving Mr. Banks movie. Obviously you can kind of tell from that you know, that movie meant a lot to him. It maybe didn't mean as much to the woman who originally wrote Mary Poppins, because it just wasn't how she imagined it coming about. And it wasn't the way she wanted the story to be told. But yeah, it was very important to him, and he just loved the story so much, and his daughters loved it.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to do it right. And yeah, so it was just kind of cool to see him like interact with it again and stuff. So
yeah, it's really,
awesome.
really cool. And obviously, you know, with the crazier story, I thought was not to ruin a lot of the, you know, details, but the story about the carpet bag, like, and where it ended up, and, like, why it ended up where it ended up is just so crazy. Like, I would never have thought that's how somebody would find or like end up upon the carpet bag.
Yeah.
And that it would just be there, you know. So I would suggest watching it. We loved it obviously because they did a specific episode for Tron, which was incredible, getting to see some of those guys talk about, and we've met a couple of them now because we got to meet them at the 35th anniversary over that gathering that we did over at Culver City. But yeah, it was just really cool to see those guys on screen talking about their work and their process, and like really breaking down some of how they did certain things. I think it was crazy that I was hoping after the Mary Poppins one. Mary Poppins one was very sentimental, which I thought was great. But for me, I like the technical stuff of like how they make certain props and things and what they did to like do these things. And the later episodes do more of that.
Yeah.
So if you are into like how the props are made a little bit, they still don't go into like super specifics, but you can watch and wait for some of the later episodes to get some of that content, which is nice. But yeah, what was your favorite of the? Do you think Mary Poppins was your favorite episode of that series, or no?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just because, like I said, Mary Poppins is like one of my all-time favorite Disney movies, and definitely my favorite of the ones that they had, I think, on there. Like, maybe, I mean, Tron and Mary Poppins maybe about the same, but like I think Mary Poppins a little bit more, because I don't think I got into Tron. I didn't actually even see Tron until I was much older, and so I think Mary Poppins was like one of my as a little kid movies that I watched like, a ton. Like, I know all the songs and everything like that. So yeah, I think that was definitely, it meant the most to me, I guess.
Yeah. I think surprisingly, my favorite episode probably was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because just I knew it was a technical marvel when they released it. It was one of those really innovative, crazy movies, and just had a great cast of characters and just an insane way about creating this story. But yeah, some of the just behind the scenes, like how they did the car scene with the taxi cab. And then, you know, how
the fact that they still has the taxi cab.
Yeah, and the original guy who's
like,
been driving it or whatever. Yeah.
And you can still drive it around. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it, you know, and it was cool to just see kind of behind the scenes Bob Hoskins talking about the process of making that movie. So that was good. I think the only one that we were both kind of like, about was Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because I liked that movie when it came out, but I literally have not seen that movie since it came out.
Yeah.
I maybe rented it one time besides that.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like, because I had a pretty like special relationship with Chronicles of Narnia, because my mom, like, for both my brother and me, she read us both like the entire series of that.
Oh, okay.
When we were kids, like, it was like an every night thing. She would read us part of those stories, and so we read literally all
Yeah.
of them. And I think the one I remember the most is the first one. I don't really recall like all the details of the other ones because it's been so long.
I barely recall the details of any of them.
Yeah,
really don't.
yeah. But yeah,
Because you
so-
pulled the name of the kids out of your hat, and I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. But yeah, so, but I mean, I remember liking the first one, but it also, like, I don't know. It just, like, I don't know that it really, like, wowed me, or maybe, like, I don't know. There's something about it where it just, I don't
Didn't
know.
super capture the attention, I don't think.
Yeah, and almost feel like it would have been better as, like, an animated thing.
Possibly, yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but I just feel like, yeah, it is more, it is, you know, it's like it's on the same level of literature as Lord of the Rings. 'Cause
Yeah.
It really is a really well written series.
Yeah,
of
and
books.
the world of
Yeah.
that series is really great.
And it's crazy. Yeah, it's very crazy, and like a lot of fantasy, and like a lot of like, you know, there's armies and stuff like that too, and there's wars happening between these characters. But at the same time, like, it also has like, it feels very almost like a fairy tale because there's like a talking lion and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they obviously did that with CG and it was cool, but like, I don't know, there's just something about it that I feel like it lends more to being told as like an animation thing.
I can see that.
But yeah,
you got
and I
James-
think they did it originally as an animated thing, but I'd have to
I think
look
they
it
did
up.
that maybe in the 80s or something like that. 80s, early 90s. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
If you want to look that up. But I was just going to say, they got your boy James McAvoy as Tumnus in that
they
movie.
did.
So
I mean, yeah, and that's the first time I ever like, you know, knew about it was through, or like when I saw it the first time. That was like, wow,
one of the first roles you saw of
yes,
it. Yeah.
yeah, and I really liked him in it.
That's your boy. That's new Xavier. That's all you.
Yeah.
You're James McAvoy.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books.
7 books. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was 9. I totally had that wrong.
Yeah, it was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, The Horse and His Boy, The Magician's Nephew, and The Last Battle. So, yeah. That was that.
Very cool. Very cool. Did they do an animated series? You looking that up right now?
Oh, yeah, it was first adapted in 1967. It was 10 episodes of 30 minutes each.
It was 67?
Yeah, 1967.
Wow, I thought it was in the 80s. I totally had that wrong.
Yeah, they did 10 episodes of 30 minutes each. Oh, and then they adapted it again in 1979 as an animated cartoon.
So maybe that was what I thought about.
Yeah. Yeah, and then between 88 and 90, the first 4 books were adapted by BBC as a 3 TV series.
Oh.
And then in 2018, the company announced that Netflix had acquired the rights to new film and television series adaptations of the Narnia books.
Oh, so maybe we might get new Narnia books series. So, yeah.
So that was just television.
Okay.
So they did like three different television series. Now there's
Yeah.
going to be a 4th one,
Yep.
possibly.
Hey man, you gotta find a way to make that
They did
stuff
it for
work.
the stage. They did it for radio.
Oh,
And then
I could see it being a radio play though.
yeah. I guess they almost did. I guess they were gonna do another film, but then when Netflix acquired the rights, they stopped.
Oh,
So they
Oh, there
were
you
gonna
go.
do Another one, but yeah. Anywho,
well, I definitely think it's a wealth of like story within those books. I think it's it's ripe for retelling. I think you do it better. You can do it in a different form. You can do it as a TV series, especially now when you can have stuff like The Witcher be so successful, and then now there's a Lord of the Rings adaptation, something like an offshoot that's going to be on Amazon. So you kind of need that. Everything's pushing towards fantasy a little bit. Oh my god, coughing.
right?
But yeah, I think it should be fun. And Netflix usually does a relatively good job when it's like a relatively established thing. So we'll see. We shall see. Last thing I really wanted to talk about was Star Wars, The Clone Wars, final season. I think when we last left off, we had watched everything up until the last 4 episodes, which is last 4 episodes have been the most incredible episodes, I think, in Clone Wars, like maybe ever.
Yeah, I think so. I think I would agree.
Even though Clone Wars has had a ton of really, really good episodes. We just rewatched a couple of things. We rewatched the whole Ahsoka stuff right before, leading up to season 7.
Yeah.
But that was pretty great. But now you listen to or watch this, and it's just the animation's so beautiful. Storytelling takes its time. Like, it's really, really going after everything you wanted out of the Clone Wars series. I know you were kind of like middling might be even a strong word, about the first 8 episodes of this season. Did the last 4 make up for the first 8?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I honestly just feel like I didn't need any of the other episodes. I just could have had these last ones, and that was really all I needed. Like, I know, we were kind of talking about it, and you were saying how you felt like, in a way, like, it's like they were trying to set up kind of like how her mindset changed a little bit, and how she went from, because I guess in a way you needed that to kind of go from that last episode of her being exiled to, her being like, okay, I'll come back. Like,
yeah. It would have been a very startling jump to start out that way.
Yeah. But I mean, personally, because I don't feel like they did a very, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like they did a good job with it, like, with that set of storylines. Like, it was really boring to me, and I just kind of, I don't know, I just didn't care about those characters, but I've already kind of talked about that before, that I didn't like it. But yeah, I don't know that it made up for it, but it was, I mean, I'm really, really happy that we got it, I guess.
Yeah. I think, we've talked about the episodes before. I thought those 8 episodes could have been 4.
Yeah.
Like, they could have 2 episodes with the clones, reestablish them and why you love them and why they're, important to the story, because that leads up to Ahsoka returning to them. And you get, maybe 2 episodes of Ahsoka kind of realizing she still has those Jedi principles, and she is trying to take all the good stuff from the Jedi, but not the bad things, like the bureaucracy of the Jedi. I think they could have done that quicker. But I do think this last 4 episodes is some of the most beautiful storytelling of any Star Wars series, a Star Wars thing in a long time.
Yeah.
Because obviously we were both a little bit disappointed with Rise of Skywalker, if I'm being generous. We were disappointed in different ways. Like, it was still entertaining, but it was not everything that, I mean, how could it be? It was not everything that we wanted it to be, right? But this, I feel like, this last 4 episodes was everything I would have wanted out of an ending to this series. It had great action, emotional story beats. You had, well, we're going to go into spoilers a little bit. You had Darth Maul getting to, like, really come out and kick some ass. Like, I was reading an article that basically they gave Darth Maul his Rogue One Darth Vader moment.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You got to see him be the brutal Sith or brutal dark character that you imagined him to be because of how he looks and how he's portrayed, like the way that people talk about him in the series or in the movies. Yeah. So yeah, you really got to see how impactful that character was and how much insight he has.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think they did a beautiful job with it. Were you surprised at how? I know you were, but were you surprised at how the action played out for this series?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Was it like shocking to you, or was it like kind of you were fine with it? It was just like a surprise.
In terms of just like the fight between like Ahsoka and Maul,
or like I would say Maul's kind of Darth Vader scene, like how violent that was.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I guess I still kind of think of it as like it's a kid's show.
Yeah.
When all's said and done, like it was, originally it was for like the Disney Channel when they ran it, wasn't
Or
it?
Cartoon Network.
Or Cartoon
Yeah.
Network. But yeah, like yeah, so like it's just crazy to see him like decapitate people and shit. I was like, oh snap, man! Like they're really going for it here. And like yeah. So I guess I was a little bit like, whoa, but yeah, I appreciate them like going for it.
Yeah.
And really showing how evil he was.
Yeah, and how brutal he can be with people. And you mentioned the lightsaber fight between Ahsoka and Darth Maul. Yeah. I almost said Darth Vader, that's why. But yeah, like that lightsaber fight is one of the most beautiful lightsaber fights we've ever seen in any iteration of
it was rotoscoped.
Yeah, it was a little bit rotoscoped or whatever, like motion captured. Because they actually brought, if you watch, there's a YouTube behind the scenes thing that came out the day after that episode aired, and they actually got Ray Park back to do the Darth Maul moves, and he actually adjusted his fighting style. He's older too, but he's still lightning quick and limber as hell. But like he adjusted the fight style for Maul's new look and being older and having the metal legs. Like it's so beautiful to look at, and watching him do it in person and then comparing it to what ends up on the screen is just like, there was no other way for them to do it. Yeah. There's no other way to capture what Darth Maul's supposed to look like because of how you see him in the Phantom Menace. Like, seeing him fight this way is the only way they could have done it. It was so great. And obviously, awesome, big props to the stunt woman also for Ahsoka's part of it.
God,
she was great.
Amazing. She was doing flips and all sorts of shit. Like, it was nuts. Like, and that whole thing with them on the rafters was like, fucking dope. Like you can't, like, you really can't have any other kind of characters fighting like that. Like, they have to know exactly where they're gonna be landing and everything, and super precise, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have just regular people doing that. It's like only Jedi can fucking like jump from like little tiny
beams from other beams,
and shit. Like, it was nuts. It was so cool.
I was surprised at how, I mean, when we saw it, I think that was the second of the 4 episodes. It was the part 2. When you see it, it's just like, holy shit, I can't believe they did it. I can't believe they could capture a lightsaber fight like this in an animated series, in a computer animation. That is incredible. Yeah, it's nuts. Like, and as much as like, there were some very acrobatic fights in the prequels. They were, I kind of like to call, like, they are lightsaber dances more than a fight.
Yeah, no, they are.
They're more of a dance because, like, some of the moves are very flourished and all this stuff, but it's not. No one's trying to kill anyone. It doesn't seem like in some of those fights. Yeah. It's a lot of twirling lightsabers, blah, blah, blah. This has that, but it's a little bit more direct, a little bit more brutal. Yeah. Because Darth Maul is out to kill you. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So you have more of that physicality with this fight. Yeah. And I thought that was really well portrayed. How did you feel like it wrapped up going into basically, I mean, okay, so the thing I was also surprised about with the series, and I kind of knew it going in because of some of the trailers, but they actually used some of the audio and some of the situations in Revenge of the Sith in the third or fourth episode, when they make the turn of Order 66. Oh yeah. They actually had so they have that conversation that, you know, Anakin's in danger, blah, blah, like, they suspect Palpatine's behind it. And then Ahsoka walks in, where, in the movie, that's where the conversation ends. Yeah. Which I think is an incredible way to weave Ahsoka into the story and paint the picture as to where she is at in the timeline. Like, I thought that was really, really cool. And it was just so emotional to see her react to Anakin betraying the Jedi, basically, and making that final turn to be a Sith. Like, she can actually feel that within the Force, which I thought was really cool. Were you surprised about that?
No, and it's mainly but that's also something so beautiful about how they showed her reacting to him in Rebels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like where once she realizes she feels him and she like realizes it is him, but at the same time, like she doesn't know how to deal with it in a way. Like she kind of just goes like, cool, well, I know exactly who this is because it's my old master, but like I don't really want to say.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, because like I don't want. It's like she kind of saying like I want to relive all of that like time of my life. Like she just wants to help the Republic in any way she can. Or the rebels in that situation. But yeah. So it's like it's crazy how they kind of. Like, the way she's feeling about, like, that conflictedness that she's feeling about him turning, like, it's like a disappointment, but also it's like I think she kind of knew. Yeah. Like, that, because he even says, like, and it's connecting back to the original Clone Wars, because he says to her when she leaves, like, the end of season 6, like, you don't think that I've been tempted to leave? And she's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know you have.
Yeah. Like, I know exactly, like, because we've talked about how we're both conflicted about, like, what, the Empire and the Jedi are doing at this point in time. Yeah. But, yeah, like, so then that, like I said, it ties back into that, and then that ties back into Rebels as well. It's like,
it's so good.
It's just, yeah, they just wove it. Like, I was just kind of stunned. I'm like, this is like, I can't say anything bad about this. Like, there's nothing to pick apart here. They just went like wove, and like, and it's just because it's all Dave Filoni. Like, he just,
mwah. He chef's kiss, mwah.
Seriously, like.
He's got the
what
magic.
He's doing, like, that's the thing is like I'm realizing, like, if fucking Dave Filoni had been in charge of the new Star Wars movies,
we would have had
what we could have gotten, because like he really is like he's like a disciple of George, and like
but
in a lot of ways, like
but in like a great way,
but in the best way,
because he's not like a disciple of George where. Because the prequels are like
spirit, I guess.
In spirit, yes, I get what you're saying.
But in all truth, it's like he's able to take that spirit and tell a better story, and George Lucas knows that, and that's why he hired him. Is he's like, he loves what I love. He loves this story, and he has more creativity than I do in telling this story. So I'm gonna let him go with it, and that's why he's like they showed like fucking George Lucas was at every fucking Mandalorian like taping all this, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you just think like he sold it off, he's not a part of it anymore, but like
he still cares about it.
Wasn't I don't think as much on set for the newer stuff, was he?
I don't think so. I think he probably visited set here and there. I think he visited on Rise of Skywalker for sure, because I'm pretty sure they said that there was like people spotted him on set on Rise of Skywalker. But he hasn't been totally around. Yeah. But he looked like he was very around for Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of shots of him on set and giving advice, especially with Filoni.
Yeah.
But
it's just really, like, it makes so much more sense knowing all that backstory and stuff, which a lot of people probably did know, and I just didn't know because I hadn't seen any of this, like, these conversations and stuff before, because probably I haven't gone to like the panels that I probably should have been going to. He may have been talking about.
I mean, it's difficult. It's a lot of stuff to pay attention to.
There's so much. Like, there's so much Star Wars stuff, and like now it's like I've been like tempted to get into like the book series. Like, I have the Salt Adventures novel. I know I should have read it by now because she's my favorite character, but I'm also worried that I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna be like, I want to know about this thing and this thing they're referencing, and it's all books, and I gotta start the entire book series, and I'm not ready for that right now. It's too much. It's just like it's like I kind of
but to be honest,
compartmentalize my fandom because otherwise I feel like I just get way too overwhelmed. To
be honest, if any time is the right time, this might be the right time.
It's true.
If you wanted to, I'm not gonna push you to be the book person.
I mean, I've already within this span of time, I've already realized that I'm getting like a very specific tattoo that relates to Star Wars Rebels, which I never thought I would say. Yeah. But I love that fucking series so much.
It is a really, really good series.
So good.
I mean, just like this.
So good.
I think the one thing I did want to say, I thought this was funny because we were watching the last episode today, and there's a moment where obviously the ends on a moment where they're trapped in the medical bay. She gets the chip out of Rex's head, and they're just kind of trapped because the clones are trying to get in and get them out and capture them, kill Ahsoka because she's a Jedi, and they cut open the door, and she just right before they cut open the door, Ahsoka's like, "Put your gun on stun. We're not trying to hurt them." And she immediately pushes this gigantic steel blast door into a bunch of clone troopers, like as hard as she can. And in my head, all I can think about is that line in The Winter Soldier where Bucky Barnes says right before like the SWAT comes in, Bucky Barnes says to Captain America is like, "I'm not trying to kill anyone." And then like 2 seconds later, he literally hits someone in the chest with a cinder block. So I am totally on board with a Ahsoka Bucky Barnes crossover. As misunderstood, taken away from their like, I don't know, of their order sort of people. I don't know. I just thought it was very Bucky Barnes energy of her to say, "I'm not going to kill anybody," and then fucking throw a steel door at 5 clone troopers as hard as she can. If they're not dead, they are crippled forever. I mean, they're probably dead because that chip went down.
But she told him to set his thing on stun. So
He did.
Yeah. She's like, if they happen to get hit by this door because they're standing too close to it, then fuck them. As it
man.
should be.
But yeah, I'm gonna say, because we've been watching some of the older Clone Wars episodes, and the leaps in animation are just incredible from especially season 1 to this season 7. Just the subtleties of, I mean, we've talked about it with like Toy Story, the evolution of computer animation, the subtleties that they can throw in there, and just like series. I mean, season 1 is just, the head movements are so stilted, eye movements are so stilted, and like now it's just natural as hell. They're just kind of bigger eyes. They're cartoon, but they feel very human.
But yeah, I'm just like looking at like, it's just crazy. Like you look at the picture of Ahsoka from like season 1 of Clone Wars to like this, and you're just like, that is not the same fucking person. Like it cannot be. Like, I mean, it makes sense. Like I said before, that like they made her look the way they did because she's, it was a kid show, and it was like, she was kind of supposed to be like a teenager, like, so yeah, it's just
pretty funny.
Crazy.
What did you think of just the ending kind of shots, like the last couple things?
Like, oh my god,
we were kind of just sitting there like,
so cinematic and amazing, and like to see, yeah, like just the animation of Darth Vader walking up there and looking at the sabers. I was just like this is incredible. Like it's just,
because he knows exactly.
Never thought I would see it. Yeah.
And
you, like they said, if you're a fan of Clone Wars or like, anything else, you know exactly like what he's thinking in that moment. And yeah, it's like you can hear the internal dialogue. You don't even need it. That's why there's none. And I love that.
Yeah.
It
really paints the picture really, really well.
He just looks at them, he turns them on, and he's like, yep, those are hers, because they've got the white, the white light. And it's oh god, it's a fucking god. I'm angry at how good it is. I need to watch it again. Like I really do.
Yeah, I would watch.
Like I still miss.
I would rewatch the last 4 episodes like immediately. We might have to do it right after this before we go to sleep or something. But yeah, I think that there's no room for me to criticize the last 4 episodes at all. I think it's one of the most perfect storytelling things for Star Wars, especially the animated series. They did just so good. They explained why everyone is where they are and where their mindset is right after everything's over. Yeah, I think it's incredible what Dave Filoni's done with this series. And, the people that he cast, Ashley Eckstein did an incredible job. She had a lot of weight on her shoulders for the last 4 episodes, especially voice acting, because those were, it was all Ahsoka. all Ahsoka, and then the guy who plays the clones, like, and then so who's the guy? The guy who voices Darth Maul, Sam Witwer. I had it. Sam Witwer, Darth Maul, did a great job. But yeah, I would take that movie up against any Star Wars, or that 4 episodes up against any Star Wars content, really. Besides, like, the original trilogy, and even then, like, this might be one of the best things we've seen, like, as a full pull, like, these 4 episodes, as an isolated thing, like, they're pretty perfect compared to a lot of the things we've seen with Star Wars lately. But yeah, I'm just glad they stuck the landing. Like, we've been waiting it for, what was it, like 6 years in between the 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the first time she's done it to me.
Yeah.
Keanu's scratching my back, trying to get me to stop talking about Star Wars. She doesn't care. She wants us to go back to playing Animal Crossing ASAP.
Oh my god, she's obsessed. She is obsessed.
She has transitioned now to attacking the TV.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this last time.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit.
Did we?
Maybe, but go ahead. Yeah.
I know we've been talking about it on our live streams, which definitely keep checking our Instagrams and stuff. We've been trying to do them every few days. But I love just getting to hang out with everybody in my live stream tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I just like being able to like chat with everybody and connect in that way and play games together and laugh and try to forget about all the crap right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, keep checking our Instagram and everything for.
Yeah. But we were talking about Keanu.
Yes, but Keanu has been obsessed with us playing Animal Crossing because I think I tried to point it out to her, or maybe she figured it out on her own. I mean, she watched it TV occasionally before, but now that she knows that on this game there are like bugs and specifically like dragonflies and grasshoppers, she goes insane. And
it is especially the dragonflies.
Yeah.
The dragonflies move in such a way in this game that it looks very, very real. Yeah. And it is...
Oh, she is convinced that they are living in the TV. They are around the TV. They go behind the TV. They go underneath the speaker. And she is trying to hunt them at all costs. And there's been mornings where we come down, and like as soon as we come down, she just runs over to the side of the couch and starts looking at the television. Even though there's nothing on it, because she's just waiting for it.
Yeah,
she like knows the noise of it.
She's waiting for us to start the game up. That's the sad thing, is that she knows that we will play it.
She's too smart for her own good. She's like, oh, I know they're gonna do it.
But it's also funny because we obviously don't just play video games. We do watch a lot of TV. Yeah. But she starts watching TV with us now. Yeah. So she was watching the Clone Wars episode with us. There was points where she looked very intrigued. Yeah. As to what was going on, much like we were.
She looked about as raptured as we do. Yeah, I wish we could like somehow set up a camera so we can show all of us watching TV together. Even though Morpheus
doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He has never once looked at the TV.
Nope.
he pretty much
most of the day. I may have to try to do an experiment, see if I can get him to look at like a grasshopper or something and see if he'll react to it. Just because I think it's weird that only she looks at it. Like, I don't know why.
She has more hunting skills, I feel like, just generally.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, yeah, she has more experience because she actually lived on the streets for a little while.
She's from the streets?
The streets.
Streets of, I don't know where she was, Van Nuys?
Something like that, yeah.
But, no, I highly recommend at least, I mean, if you are into Star Wars at all, like, it's hard to catch up because there is a lot of seasons. If you haven't watched Clone Wars, you really do have to go through a lot of essential episodes to get to where we are with this series. But it's worth it. It's incredible storytelling. It'll actually make you care a little bit about the prequels. Like, it really does a great job. I never would have cared about the Clone Troopers at all, aside from now learning. I care about the Clone Troopers a lot because of this series. And it's crazy that they gave you such personality, and it's one guy doing all the voices of every Clone Trooper. So think about that. When you see Clone Trooper heavy episodes, like, that's all that guy. It's all him doing the clone troopers for the entire episode, which is insane because the first 4 episodes was all clones. So he got paid.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say high five to him for getting paid.
Yeah. He's making good money. He's working a lot. A lot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all we had. If you had any thoughts on Clone Wars the last couple episodes, please let us know. Or just as a season in general, let us know. I just think, we were just blown away by how beautiful it was, how they really got Ahsoka's thing, everything down. Ahsoka's outfit was incredible. I think you were like kind of fawning over it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever want to do an Ahsoka costume, but if you would do one, that would be the one probably, right?
Yeah. Even just honestly, just like her with the cloak on is pretty dope. Like I love that imagery. Like it's just so cool. Like when she's standing out there with all the helmets and stuff.
Oh my gosh, that shot!
That shot is just
that shot with all the
because so beautiful. Like,
obviously there's a moment in the series where she comes back and Anakin surprises her with a bunch of this troop of clones that have painted their masks, their helmets, with Ahsoka's markings, basically this orange and white marking on the top of their helmets. And obviously they all turn on her, so they end up dying in this crash. And at the end of the series, she collects their helmets and puts them up, and as like a tribute to them, even though they turned on her, like they did great with her before the chip turned them.
Yeah, she knew, and that was like why it was like so. I was crying. Like it's so sad because it is. It's like
she knows they had no choice.
Dawned on me while it was happening was I was like, oh, I forgot that these guys like all have her markings on them. Like they were loyal to her specifically. Yeah. And worked with her and loved her, and the fact that she had like she was the purest of Jedi, really. Like, and if it comes down to it, like because even despite them forsaking her and not believing her, she no matter what, she stuck to her guns and not wanting to kill and not wanting to like be vengeful, I guess is the word. She never once wanted them to die, and she even told them like I don't want any of them to die, like because it's not their fault. I know it's not their fault. Like they're not doing it on purpose. It's literally there's something in their brain that's telling them to do it. And so it was very sad at the end. And
I mean that's a poster worthy image for sure. Check it out. Check out Clone Wars final season if you haven't. I don't know how you made it to the end of this episode with us talking about all of it, but I would watch it again if you have, because we should all experience that kind of joy together in this time. So in general, hopefully you guys are staying safe and healthy throughout this isolation period. It sounds like things starting to open up in certain places, but who knows? Just be safe out there. Please wear masks. Please take care of yourselves. Still continue to social distance when you're out, and take care of your health. Yes. If you anything else you want to put out there, I don't know. Our friends over at Nerds Like Us and our friend Bernie is doing a virtual pop expo this weekend, starting on I think the 9th. They're having some panels and stuff like that with some guests, and then a couple of different other events. I know that they're doing a cosplay contest, virtual cosplay contest, which you should see some nice new cosplays from people that are featured throughout that stream. But yeah, make sure to check it out because people are actually putting in a lot of effort to do that, and I think we linked it on the page, but we'll make sure to share it again so that you all see what it is, and just try to attend a virtual con. It's fun to see what people are doing and try to get some insight from different special guests and stuff like that. So make sure to check that out. On our end, just make sure to check out our Twitch, because we will be streaming a lot this coming weeks, because we don't have much to do as it were. So we'll play Jackbox games, maybe we'll play other games too, but mostly Jackbox because it's more fun to interact with you guys. So that's it. Go forth, be nerdly, be safe. Love you guys. Bye. Hey everyone, if you like this episode or any of the episodes that we've had, please do us a favor and go on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher and write us a review, and just subscribe to us on any of the platforms that you have. You can follow us on our social media at the Nerdlies, pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and what's the words? Instagram, YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, the Nerdlies. We do need more subscribers on that so we can lock in our channel and stuff like that. Rachel's social media is
Lady Raygun, LADYRAEGUN.
Yeah, on Twitter, Instagram, and she has a Patreon account.
Yes.
That we are still shooting stuff for.
And also I have a Facebook. I don't have a Facebook anymore, but I have a Facebook page that is Lady Raygun Cosplay if you want to check that out.
Yeah, and that's also facebook.com/Lady Raygun. But yeah, come follow us and do all the things. We'll see you soon. And thank you so much for supporting the show.
Thank you.
Bye. Go forth and be nerdy.
Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hair meet. Cause we the Nerdlies, the Nerdlies. Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hair meet. Cause we the Nerdlies, the Nerdlies.